Hello YouTube, my name is Blue, and as of now the LCK 2022 rosters are starting to finalize. So let's discuss some of these changes and their prospects going into the future. Let's start off with probably one of the most exciting changes that we ended up seeing. It was quite surprising as well, as I expected this team to run it back like they have been for the past couple years, but in the end they ended up changing their roster completely, and that is Gen G. Their confirmed roster being Duran in the top lane, Peanut in the jungle, and surprisingly Chovy in the mid lane, along with Ruler staying as the AD carry for the team and Lahens joining as the support. Also worth mentioning, ex-KT jungler Score will be the head coach. These announcements were pretty insane to hear actually, considering that Chovy is considered one of the best mid laners, and Gen G already had an amazing mid laner in BDD, and now they're putting Chovy in. It's looking really crazy, and I think Gen G's current roster with a strong topside Duran has been looking much better this year, and Peanut as a consistent jungler as long as the meta suits him. I think overall this team is probably an improvement to the original Gen G after they have synergy sorted. Chovy, Lahens and Duran did all play together on Griffin, which is funny because Chovy always likes to join teams with ex-teammates. But overall, without even having to see this team play, I can assure you they will be a top 3 team within the region. They have an insanely stacked roster, and overall I expect to see some cool stuff from Gen G next year, and not those boring games we got very accustomed to seeing from the roster. I think the next team worth mentioning is the team that has been very much struggling with their contracts this offseason, with a lot of issues with different teams. Hopefully they probably got most of it sorted out now, and here is the final roster for NONGSHIM Red Force. In the top lane we have Kana moving from T1, in the jungle we have Dread, in the mid lane we have BDD moving from Gen G, and in the bot lane we also have Ghost moving from DAMWON and Effort moving from Sandbox, being an ex-T1 player as well. This is a complete roster shakeup by NONGSHIM, replacing all their players, which were previously Rich, Peanut, Gory, Decadam and Keelan. Expect to see some of those players return in this video, but overall NONGSHIM's new roster seems relatively good, and whether or not it's an upgrade from the previous roster, it does have a lot of players with a lot of experience as well, considering all the players have actually played for numerous years within the LCK. NONGSHIM has pulled out a little bit of the veteran roster, and expect to see this team within the top 5, potentially pushing towards that 4th and 3rd spot within the region. Next up, I think it's worth mentioning AFREECA Freaks, who have picked up a variety of T1 players, basically forming their own T1 2.0 team. Pretty interesting, but their roster does currently consist of Keen in the top lane. In the jungle we have Elim, who is ex-T1. We have in the mid lane Fate, and in the bot lane we have Leo still existing on the roster. Whether he's staying or not, we don't know, but Teddy has also joined, ex-T1, starting mid laner. And in the support we have Hoyt, who is also a T1 support. So other than Fate and Keen, these players have a lot of existing synergy, playing together for a while on T1. Hopefully we see this team come out with a pretty good start, considering Keen will now have a decent team around him. Definitely AFREECA Freaks looking to beat their previous records and contest those top 4 slots, and give justice to players like Keen, who have been stuck on some bad rosters for a while, and give them the justice they deserve. So those are the teams that are basically guaranteed. There are some other teams which I do want to discuss that are, in my opinion, potentially already guaranteed. So let's start with those. That would be T1, who I think they're going to run it back with the same roster, but obviously losing Kana, they're going to put Zeus in instead. As they got rid of all their substitutes, that means they're really confident with the roster they played at Worlds, and we'll continue to see them develop next year. I think the start of the split might be a little weak for the team, considering Zeus hasn't had the experience that Kana has. But overall, I think by the end of the split, they should be in their prime form and potentially striving for the 1st and 2nd spot within the LCK, maybe after a pretty weak start where they're hovering around 6th, 5th. There are some rumors around which players could potentially be joining T1 for top lane. I do believe Zeus will be playing though, but there are some rumors such as the Shy. I also rumors that T1 was looking at Nugri, but obviously Nugri has decided to take a break for a half a split or so. So in the end, I put my money that Zeus will be on the starting top laner going into 2022. Another team that I want to discuss is DAMWON. Though none of these players have actually been confirmed, we're pretty sure that Canyon and Showmaker will probably be signing back based off current rumors, and that obviously Ghost and Beryl have left. Obviously Ghost moving to NONGSHIM Red Force, and Beryl rumored to be joining DRX, leaving the bot and support role open for DAMWON. Obviously, the rumors are currently saying that Descriptors and Keelan will be joining from NONGSHIM Red Force to DAMWON. Overall, I think this bot lane synergy duo, I should say, is very good, and I think they are top 3, top 2 bot lane duos in the LCK, and they are going to do very well on DAMWON. I think an excellent replacement for Ghost and Beryl, and I believe they can provide some really good stuff for DAMWON. Obviously, top lane is a bit of a question. Obviously, Khan had to go to military service, and now there's an open slot in top. DAMWON was looking at Nuguri. Obviously, he doesn't want to play next split, and this does leave a little bit of a gap for DAMWON, considering a lot of the top laners are currently taken within the LCK. We'll see what ends up happening, and they might have to find some unexpected top laners from Academy, or just some other straggling players. But in the end, we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. And moving to the team, which is mostly just speculation at the moment, but quite interesting overall, considering they had an awful summer split. They really are looking to shake up their roster. DRX in hand has actually got some interesting rumors, such as Deft potentially joining back as the bot laner. As previously stated, Beryl potentially joining DRX. Coach Kim potentially joining a DRX from BLG, along with Zika, who is the current mid laner for BLG. There are also some rumors that FPX Bo, who did get in a lot of trouble last year due to match fixing, but overall a very, very good jungler from FPX, is potentially joining DRX, but there's also rumors that Pyoshik is staying. So whether or not that really works, I'm not too sure. We could see, obviously we could see Bo come in, or we may not, and we might just see Pyoshik again. Pyoshik looked like one of the best players on the team, along with Kingen, and obviously both of those two players are staying, so that's really good to see. And as we know, CV Max will be leaving. So now that we have discussed most of the team rumors, there are still some individual player rumors that I still want to go over. For example, Genji Cleared has been rumored to be potentially joining PSG Talon, who did lose a bit of their players to China and NA going into next year. So they are definitely looking to fill those slots in with some confident players such as Cleared in the jungle, and apparently Yukal could be joining mid from KT. There are also a lot of rumors about Viper potentially joining back into the LCK. There was another rumor that suggested that Viper was staying on EDG. So I think it's best to say that Viper will most likely stay on EDG for now, along with Scout, who's also rumored to go to LCK, and potentially Hanwha Life KT. But also it's probably a good bet to say that he will probably also stay on EDG, considering they did win Worlds. Splitting up the roster now is probably not the smartest idea, because they may want to run it back for a second cup, something that not many teams can claim they have accomplished. Hanwha Life does appear to be picking up an entire rookie roster with a bunch of players from Academy. We'll see how this goes. Honestly, Hanwha Life is looking to be probably the weakest team going into next split. Their roster rumors are pretty bad, and considering their coaching staff isn't that acclaimed, we'll see where they end up, but honestly, don't keep your hopes high. Gory is rumored to be potentially joining China next year into the LPL. A lot of teams are looking to find some new mid laners, considering the LPL has had a lot of changes. I will make another video on the LPL in a couple days, so stay tuned for that for more information. And obviously the LCK did lose a couple players, as in Summit is moving to C9 along with T1 AD carry Berserker. Ellis is rumored to leave. That's not going to happen. It's very unlikely. But overall, I think that does wrap up the LCK changes. We have seen some really exciting stuff this off-season, and there is still more stuff to come. If you want to stay updated with more information just like this, please consider liking the video and subscribing to the channel to keep up to date with latest videos. And last of all, my name's Blue, and have a great day.